Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes podcast, the place where we get real about motherhood, mess ups, and everything in between. I'm your host, Katie Fensky, and I'm reminding moms that everyone burns their first pancake. Now, today I'm chatting with the incredible Sabrina Yeville, longtime beauty industry exec, mom of three boys, and founder of Gryme, a clean personal care brand made specifically for teens and tweens. After nearly 2 decades working with brands like Clinique and Bumble and Rodan and Fields, Sabrina noticed a major gap in the market. Where were the safe, age appropriate products for kids, especially boys? So, like any good mom on a mission, she decided to create it herself. We talk about what it's like leaving the corporate world, raising three boys while building a brand, and the not so glamorous reality of teaching kids about hygiene. If you've ever wondered what actually is in your kid's shampoo or had to beg your teen or tween to wear deodorant, this episode is for you. Sabrina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
I'm gonna say, and this might sound very strange, but you are the reason my son can now shower or does shower. I hope that doesn't sound weird and creepy, but we need to talk about how you got my kid to actually want to shower.
Amazing.
All right. Will you start by introducing yourself and just tell us how many kids you have and where you're from?
Sure. We were just talking. So I'm originally from Los Angeles, and we were chit-chatting about the fires.
Mhm.
But I live up in the Bay Area now in California. We've been here for about 10 years, and I went to school across the bay. So it's kind of nice to be back up here. And I have three kids now. I have three boys, and they are
Woohoo.
7, 9, and 11.
Oh my God.
Um,
Wow.
yes.
Okay. We're almost the same.
What are your ages?
Um, Almost 11, 7, and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're in it.
We are in it. And it's so much fun. And it is shocking and frustrating and sweet and unexpected and all of those things. And I'm an only child. So, like, all of the whole sibling thing and the birth order and the boy, and I was
Mm.
raised by a single mom. I am out of my element all the
Totally.
time.
Totally.
My husband, don't tell him he is my fourth child. He has, works really hard, and then, 2 seconds before bed, he just decides to rile everybody
Oh
up.
yeah. Let's wrestle, everyone.
I'm just like, get out of here.
I've worked
Um,
so hard to get to this point. Get them in bed. Yeah.
it's my time off. They have to go to sleep now. Yeah, so it's been a wild ride. We're a party of five.
I love it. I love it. I same with you. Like the boy thing has thrown me for a loop. I was raised with one sister, and boys are just different. They're different. I like
They are.
constantly, I'm just like, I did not know motherhood would be like this, raising boys.
Oh, I'm constantly shocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they always loud and always moving?
I don't have an introvert in the bunch.
No, no. Yeah.
So yes, my least active kid is on the move. They are, into sports, and they get my middle one. I call him a golden retriever. He needs to be like walked. If he doesn't have enough exercise in the day, he gets like really cranky and agitated.
Hmm.
So he is probably my most active, followed by my youngest, and then my oldest is my most lethargic. But he is, he's moving into that teen territory soon, so
Uh-huh.
he is embracing it. He's got his Snuggie on and his podcasts.
Yes. Right. They want to wear like pajama pants all day. Like my son, I was like,
Oh,
you can't wear that to school. Those are pajamas. He's like, I don't care, mom.
oh, he is completely embracing teen life, even though he's only
Mhm.
11. I mean,
Yep.
he's got the dishes in the piled up in the
Oh, no.
bedroom. I mean,
Yes.
he thinks that he's just like living on his own. He is out there on
Totally.
an iceberg by himself. And yeah, he's loving life. He's,
Yeah.
graduating fifth grade, moving on to middle school. So
Oh,
it's like
nice.
really exciting. Yes, we're in
My
that
son has
transition.
one more year. They go up to sixth grade in elementary. So one more year before that middle school, but he definitely is acting like he wants to be older.
Yes, they are. It's
Yes.
fun.
And I look at him and I still think, oh, you're such a little kid still. But I'm like, why are you calling me bro and
Oh,
like talking back? I'm like, just
ooh,
don't argue. Why are you arguing with me?
I'm the same way. I constantly remind him that I am the gatekeeper to his entire life.
Hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't keep him from pushing boundaries. His new hobby is, some of the boys like get on their bikes and they ride downtown and they're going to the burger place. Like this is the newfound
Oh,
independence. It's
cute.
actually
Yeah.
pretty cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, wow, we're really embarking on this,
Yes.
independent life. I'm loving it.
It's that fine line between like I want you to experience that, but I'm not quite sure I'm ready to just trust you or the world. You know, my son keeps going, "Can I ride my bike down?" There's like a little market around here, maybe less than a mile. But I'm like, yes, but it also makes me nervous. Like, and he wants to go with his brothers, and I'm like, your 5-year-old brother cannot do that. Just the three of you. I'm like,
Right.
but then just like little things that he wants to do, like he wants to like go to the snack bar by himself and use my phone to pay with a
Mm-hmm.
Venmo. And I'm
Yep.
like, okay, just please bring my phone back. Like, don't leave it at the snack bar. Because he's still that too, that like impulsive kid that's just like, ooh, whoops, I forgot it. I don't know where it is.
Right.
Do you
Right.
feel like your younger one is growing up faster because he has older brothers?
100%. I mean, he's almost 17.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he 100%. He skipped over all of that. My two oldest are only a year and a half apart, and they
Okay.
were frickin' frack. I mean, they literally had all the same interests. I
Mhm.
thought they were twins because I had to buy the same toy times two.
Yep. Yep.
They would dress up, in superhero clothes and act out
Hmm.
like Transformers. It was like so adorable. And then my youngest one skipped over all of that
Hmm.
developmental play and went straight to Pokemon cards
Oh
and
God.
video
Yeah.
games.
Yes. Oh my God. And the video games. It was like 6 months ago that I was like, oh, Maverick. Okay, he's my youngest. I'm like, oh, maybe we should watch like a Sesame Street. He had no clue what
No,
that was.
no interest.
And I was like, oh
Too
my God,
babyish.
you've
Yeah,
never seen Sesame Street. You only know about Fortnite and, he had Minecraft from the time he was born.
exactly. I mean, I will say I'm not sorry that I don't have to watch Caillou anymore.
Yes, yes.
Or Coco Melon. So I'm kind of glad that we're out of
Right.
those stages. But yes, he's growing up very fast.
Way
He runs
faster.
the roost. He
The
is
language
adorable.
that comes out of that younger one, I'm like, oh, where did you hear that? I'm like, okay, you heard that from Ronan. I'm like, don't say that. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
It's
all
so,
of that.
yeah,
All
yeah.
of that.
So
I,
fun.
I
Okay.
apologize to all my friends who have like their peer, his peer is
Uh-huh.
like the oldest and they have
Yes.
no idea. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my child's the bad influence. I apologize in advance. He's got
100%.
he's got two brothers. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
I think that because he's in TK right now, and I think that about school, I'm like, oh my gosh, just don't say that at school. Don't say that to your teacher. I'm like, oh, hopefully they'll understand. You have older brothers.
Exactly.
Ah.
Exactly.
Okay, as a boy mom, have you seen the Minecraft movie yet?
No,
Oh,
it's on our list. We were
okay,
sick
okay.
last week, which is why I'm a little still congested, but no, that is probably on the ticket for the next week or
That
so.
I never in a million years thought I would go to a movie, a Minecraft movie, but I'm like, here I am. I've got
Well, we
Victoria,
just
so we're
went to
doing
Dog
it.
Man, so I'm hoping it's better than the
Oh.
Dog Man movie.
This one was funny. I would find there was like some funny humor in it, that I think adults can laugh at.
All right.
But I have they
Raving review.
I have fallen asleep in a movie before that I've taken them to, and they're like, "Mom, why'd you fall asleep?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not interested in this movie, and it's like 2 hours. I could take a little nap. So at Minecraft, they're like, "Don't fall asleep, Mom." I'm like, I
It's
won't.
a lot of
I
pressure.
I didn't fall asleep. So there's my review. All
Perfect.
right, let's get into how you got my son to shower. You made a successful career in beauty in the beauty industry, and then decided to start your own brand. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been in beauty for about 20 years. I started, well, I wasn't always in beauty. I was in finance first,
Okay.
and I made a pretty wild transition. And I've never looked back. It's been so fun. So I got my first job at Bumble and Bumble, which is a hair product company, and they have a couple
Hmm.
salons in New York City. And I came on in a strategy role, but I also took on a bunch of other responsibilities there. And after a few years, seeing how like the businesses work, I really wanted to do product marketing and be responsible for helping to create new products and get them to market. And so I moved over to Clinique and I ran some of the skincare lines at Clinique for a number of years. And that's where I learned about fragrance, because Clinique is a dermatologist brand and it's also allergy tested fragrance free. So we talked a lot about what's doing right for skin
Mhm.
and the skin's protective barrier and inflammation, all sorts of boring things, but but what keeps skin healthy and what protects it from, acne, what protects it from lines and wrinkles, things like that. And something that can bother adult skin is fragrance because it can be irritating. And that's when I became a mom. So I had my first child when I was working at Clinique and I was looking at the products that I was buying for the baby, getting the house all set to bring
Mhm.
home my little joy. And I noticed that, in some of the baby products, they had fragrance and essential oils, which hit me wrong because I had just been, completely told that it's not great for adult skin. This is newborn skin.
Right.
Why would you intentionally introduce sensitizing ingredients, um, for kids that they're literally
Brand new.
brand new, right? They can't protect themselves. Their skin is gorgeous. And why would you introduce something that can be sensitizing to that newborn skin? So that really made me more skeptical about the baby industry and the, kids products. And so for years I'd been looking for fragrance-free products for the kids and especially when they were younger. And just as they got older, just that 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8-year-old level, they're now in elementary school. They're participating on team sports. They're active. They're getting messier and dirtier. Our
Stinky.
school, stinky. I mean, that is crazy. Like they don't have the underarm BO, but it is a whole body
It's like
BO.
sweaty boy,
It
sweaty
is,
boy. Their room smells. And I'm like,
it's crazy.
do
It's
you
like the
have any?
scalp
Yes.
and the
Yes.
feet.
Oh, the
The
feet.
feet,
The
it
feet
is
are so bad.
rank. It is so,
So
so
bad.
bad.
I have my
Um,
son's cleats in my car one night because he plays
oh,
baseball. I left it in
yes.
my car overnight. I got in the next day and I was like, oh my God, what
Oh,
is
it's
this?
the worst air freshener you can pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're getting older. And as I was talking with other moms about like, well, what are you using? Because like they're not babies anymore, but also, I mean,
Hmm.
we've got blacktop at our school. They come home
Yeah.
with black smudges all over
Yes.
their knees and
Their
it gets on their
clothes. Yeah.
ankles and they're like, it's like they're
Face.
wearing eye black. It's crazy when they get home and their hands. Oh, goodness. It's like they hadn't washed their hands all
No,
day and then
they
they get in the
probably
car.
haven't.
They probably have it. So I was like, okay, well, what am I going to use for the kids now? And talking with other moms and then through our research, the overwhelming majority are buying just general market drugstore brand
Hmm.
products, dermatologist brands or sensitive skin or gentle, whatever it is. But, whatever they're using for the whole family. And that's what the kids kind of transition to once you're kind of ready to retire the toddler products.
Hmm.
Or the toddler products end up lingering because people don't really know what to buy.
Yeah.
And so that's, I was at Clinique, had my kind of revelation. We moved back to California, so we've been here for almost 10 years now. And over the years, this frustration has continued to build. And so finally, I kind of exploded and decided I have to do this for myself and for my
Yeah.
kids. And that kind of led me on this like journey of actually like going through with this dream that I had been having about clean products made for kids, um, that looked like they were for kids, like,
Mhm.
that weren't too babyish, weren't cartoony. Yes,
Yes.
there you go. Looked like something that they could use when they were young, like my kids' age, but also that they didn't have to graduate from or transition out of. They could have, they can keep using it, through middle school and high
Hmm.
school. Um, And it's really a bridge between like the toddler products and the acne and adult products that they're going to be using that aren't right for, kids' skin right now.
Hmm.
In a packaging that makes them want to use it. So that
It's
goes back to
cool.
yeah,
Yep,
and that goes back to your kid showering. And that's really exciting to hear.
totally. Um, why do you think teen boys are like overlooked in this space, like preteen and teen boys? Like I've heard the girl moms are like, the girls nowadays have their 10-step skincare routine and Sephora and this. Why aren't boys being represented in this like new skincare thing?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes, you just follow the you follow the money. So follow the money, honey. No, I mean, when you look at the industry, women's skincare has always been a much bigger market than men's grooming.
Mhm.
And over the years, there's been a few winners in men's grooming. And for decades, like the research has said, like men are, paying more attention and men's grooming is going to take off and it's going to explode. But women's still eclipse men's grooming. And I think, one, the kids are watching their parents.
Mhm.
And so, daughter is watching mom have a multi-step routine and using products, and it's sensorial, and she wants to be older and she wants to kind of follow in mom's footsteps. And now it's not just mom, you're watching influencers and
Yeah.
other teens on social media. So when we were growing up, I looked at my mom and I saw some of her products and I would like, go into
Try it
her,
out.
yeah, I'd
Yep.
go into her cabinet and try out her products. Um, I didn't have the benefit of watching it on YouTube or social media and seeing
Mhm.
all these other women and what they were using. That would have opened my eyes to so many more things. Um, but boys, they see their dads doing their process. A lot of it is related to shaving, probably. But even men have like streamlined products. Like if you look at the men's, there's more two-in-ones and three-in-ones there than there are in women's. If you just mentioned like women like their steps,
Mhm.
and men like to be done fast.
Very
There,
efficient.
that doesn't mean that men don't have face wash and serums and moisturizers, but that's, kind of a newer phenomenon, or a newer trend. But you just go to the body wash aisle at your local supermarket and you will see two-in-one, three-in-ones. I just saw a funny TikTok where it was like 28 and one. Um,
You don't even have to shower anymore.
Exactly. And that's because, guys kind of like to do that multi-stepping, get in and get out. And I just think that that is a behavior. I think that that is a preference. And I have talked to other mo girl moms or moms with daughters, and while their kids are more interested in the facial skincare routines and makeup. When they're in the shower, they also do like to just kind of get in and get out. So like the
Mhm.
body wash and the shampooing, they're not spending, they don't want the multiple products there. I think
Right.
that's more of functional, but girls are more interested, I think, in the facial skincare. And so brands are coming out targeting girls because they're going to buy more products,
Mhm.
more and they're willing to spend a little bit more on them and they're more interested in them. So I think you just kind of go where the market is.
Right.
But so then boys are left with like Axe and Old
I was gonna say
Spice,
ads. Those were the two I thought of because when we go,
Dove
sometimes
Men.
I let them pick out what they want, and I think they gravitate towards. Dad uses that red Old Spice. That's the one
Totally.
we want. Hmm.
And I mean, I used to work at Banana Republic when I was 16. Men are so like women. Oh God, I hated working in the women's section. You'd have a woman, she'd take 20 things into the dressing room and then she'd come out with one thing, or she'd be like, I'm
It
gonna
didn't
bring
work.
my husband back and see what he says. Whereas like the men would go in with three things and then they would buy those three things in three different colors.
Yes.
I I will take that in all the colors you have available. So men have they're a little bit more streamlined and they are also a little bit more brand loyal. They don't
Mm.
they're not looking for the newness and they're not as fickle as females can be.
Hmm.
My husband is still using the same red deodorant that he used when he was a teenager. So
Very loyal.
Very, very loyal. Um, so I just think that, with boys, rather than try to sell them on something for them, like I mentioned, a lot of the parents are just buying what they're buying for the whole family, and kid will use that too.
Hmm.
But what I found out, and I don't know how your kids are, my kids don't want to have multiple steps. They want to be in and out. They like that 2-in-1, 3-in-1 concept. But the products that are on the market for men, or, because all the ones that we mentioned are all men's products, they don't contain high quality premium ingredients. They're pretty inexpensive,
Mm.
and you kind of get what you pay for. They're not made for kids' skin. So you've got inexpensive, cheap products. I mean, it's kind of like junk food,
Right.
right? It's not organic apples and,
Hmm.
you're not in the organic produce section. You're in the junk food section at the gas station, basically. Okay. So you're getting the most affordable ingredients for a higher margin product because the prices are pretty low
Hmm.
for those products. Um, they are that means that they're not that like safe and some gentle, right, for kids' vulnerable skin, thinner skin, and they're not designed for kids to be using. So you do have a vacuum of options for boys who've outgrown monsters
Hmm.
and, don't want pink or something like super clinical.
Yeah. What are some of the ingredients in some of those that are not good for kids' skin or any skin?
Well, there's classes of ingredients. I mean, some of the basic ones, you've got different surfactant options. So surfactants are the detergents. They're the cleansers in like a body wash or a shampoo or a hand wash or your detergent. Um, and I think people know sulfates. And so you'll look at, your
Sulfate
packaging and
free.
it'll say sulfate free.
Hmm.
And you're like, great, sulfate
Yeah, I
free. I've
that's
heard
great.
those are
I'm
bad,
happy.
right? So check, right? But when you turn over the bottle, they can have other synthetic detergents or other detergents that are irritating, just as irritating as sulfates or worse.
Mhm.
And but they're not sulfate, so it's great, right? So the marketing on the front says it's sulfate free because people have heard about sulfates, and so they look for that
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, okay, great, done.
Hmm.
But when you turn it over, you're looking at like sodium olefin sulfonate. Cocamide propylbutane is a favorite among chemists, and and actually those two together are in so many um, body washes and shampoos on the market. Um, but cocamidopropylbutane and betanes can be really irritating. And so you've got like two ingredients that can be irritating to skin in concert with each other. There can just be many. So one is like, what is your surfactant? Some are harsher than others. There are, some very gentle surfactants. Some of the more gentle ones don't foam up very well. And so,
Okay.
like cocamidopropylbutane foams up beautifully, and people love their
Love
foam,
that. Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So, chemists love to use ingredients that work. And I'll tell you, synthetic ingredients work really, really well. They are there for performance, and they're inexpensive. So you can get a really, really good cleaning body wash or shampoo for not a lot of money. But the trade-offs are, it can be harsh to your skin. And like I mentioned about your skin's protective barrier, you only have one, and it does a really important job, especially when you've got like the younger, thinner skin. Um, if that protective barrier gets compromised, it can really create a whole bunch of skin issues that you didn't have and didn't need to have.
Oh.
And one of those things is acne. So that's why you're hearing a lot about dermatologists speaking out about all the kids using anti-aging products and their mom's products and running to Sephora and running to Ulta because these girls do want to be a little older and more mature, which is how girls are,
Hmm.
and use, products that are kind of like above their age level. And it is hurting their barrier, their skin's barrier, and that they're seeing dermatologists because they're having some skin issues and even creating acne. You can
Wow.
actually create the onset of acne.
Wow. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you get, because yours is scented. My son was like, oh, I like the smell. How do you get
Ooh,
it scented without using all those harsh fragrances?
yes, thank you. So that's another one is fragrance. So fragrance is a black box. You have no idea what ingredients are there because it's a trade secret and the suppliers don't have to disclose
I
that.
don't have to put that on the label?
No, fragrance. That's it. It's considered a
Oh,
trade secret. And
wow.
what's crazy is that until I was going down my path of grime and I'm talking to fragrance houses and different suppliers, sometimes they don't even disclose the ingredients to brands, even if you sign an NDA. So
Wow.
it's very, very possible that brands are using ingredient fragrance and they don't even know which ingredients are in there.
Wow.
And you're just relying on what the supplier is telling you. And I
Mhm.
had a supplier, a very reputable fragrance house, talking to me about clean synthetic fragrance, something that would be acceptable at Sephora. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great
That sounds good.
because
Yeah.
natural fragrance has essential oils in it, and essential oils are naturally sensitizing. So just because they're
I'm so
natural,
sensitive to because I tried to get into the essential oils and someone's like, "Oh, put this on here." Broke out in such a rash and I didn't know it was from that, so I kept putting more on thinking, "Oh, like this is supposed to be calming." I could not believe how irritated my skin got from essential oils, which you thought, "Oh, these are natural. These are supposed to be good for you."
exactly. So, especially brands are like, oh, we have fragrance, but it's natural fragrance. And you're like, oh, okay, that's natural. That sounds good. But
Mhm.
natural fragrance contains sensitizing ingredients. And I have looked at it like I could not use any of them because I don't want to use anything that's allergenic,
Mhm.
because we're, talking about kids' skin.
Yeah.
And so that was just a choice that I made for Grime. And so I couldn't use any of the natural fragrances that they were sending me. And so they suggested, well, what about this clean synthetic fragrance? I'm like, okay, I'm open to that. Send
Mhm.
me a list. And I looked at the ingredient list. I'm like, I can't use any of this either
Oh
because the
gosh.
ingredients can contain endocrine disruptors, ingredients that
Yeah.
are suspected to be carcinogenic. Like you don't even know what's in there. So I ended up not being able to use either option, natural fragrance or synthetic. So I ended up I thought I was going to have to go fragrance free, which was kind of where I
Mhm.
was leaning anyway. But I will tell you, people like fragrance, which is why it's in baby
Even
products,
boys, even boys.
even
Oh, I like
boys.
the smell of it, mom. That's what he said. Yeah.
Totally, totally. So I, sampled out my fragrance-free option and I got a lot of feedback about, and a lot of the feedback was, it was great. I just wish it had a scent. And I was like, oh. So I figured out a way where I felt like I could do this. So first of all, I'm not marketing this to babies. This is
Hmm.
my lab says that it's for 2 and up, but I think 4 and up is good. I don't
Okay.
need to compete with the
The toddler. Yeah.
no, I mean, it's such a competitive, saturated baby market. Once your child is kind of like done with their baby and toddler products, they can then graduate to Gryme. But we use aromatic extracts. And so they are not essential oils. And I'm just using basically food grade extracts that have a natural scent to them. But I didn't choose any that were allergenic,
Okay.
so like there isn't, an orange extract or mint or anything like
Hmm.
that. They're very mild. So it's vanilla, there's some coconut, some raspberry. So it's very mild. It's a very mild scent. It doesn't have that punch of a fragrance, but I felt really good about what we were doing because um, one, I'm transparent about what I'm using.
Hmm.
I'm not hiding it behind the word fragrance, and it's so light and it's so gentle.
Yeah. Yeah. How long from like starting this idea to I've got my product, I'm ready to sell? How long did that take you?
Well, it's been marinating for years, but once my husband told me I needed a business plan, It's probably been about 2 years since I finished my business plan, but I
Wow,
had,
that seems very fast for all this work that you've done to like,
oh God, it feels like it's inched along. Um, I had some hiccups along the way. I mean, I have definitely, even though like this is what I do is bring products to market, boy, doing it on your own,
hmm
um, without partners and without budgets, I had a lot of like learning lessons and hiccups and setbacks.
yeah.
So one day I'll write a book.
Oh gosh, that's
It's
fast.
no joke. It's no joke.
Right, right. Because you're just like doing it on your own. And then like, are you your own social media and your
Oh
like
gosh, unfortunately,
marketing and yes, yes.
yes.
Oh, I feel ya. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a
Um,
lot.
okay, your chapstick, because I also got your chapstick because my son, two of them are like chronic lip lickers
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
always have chapped lips. My oldest son is like constantly like, Mom, where's my chapstick? Like he has to have it with him. Um, and I saw you talk about it on your Instagram. So social
Thank
media
you.
is working. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to try this because they're always like red up here. Since
Yes.
using it, like I personally use it now because I was always getting chapped lips and I felt like it helps so much. So how is
Thank
your
you.
chapstick different than the stuff we get at the grocery, like the Carmex that I've been using with him?
Okay. So first
Or
of all, my husband
chapstick.
went out and bought chapstick
Okay.
for our, we just went to the snow. And I was seriously like,
Did you just buy that?
do you know what I do for a living? It's like, are you paying attention? And by the way, we have like 100 chapsticks at the house, or like, lip balms at
Sample.
the house.
Yeah, yeah.
So, listen, petroleum jelly, Aquaphor, chapstick, these are household names.
hmm
These are things that are kind of like tried and true. But
Yeah.
here's what's the problem with them. A couple things. One is that they really are occlusive. They are sitting on top of your skin and they are creating this protective barrier to keep moisture from escaping, but they're not adding any moisture to your lips. So they make it kind of soft and soothing, like it kind of
Okay.
feels good, but it's actually not healing the dry skin underneath. So when it wears off, your skin is still dry. And then you're like, ooh, I want that again. So you
Right.
kind of like it's this like cycle of keep like applying it, but
Mhm.
it's not actually healing your skin. Um, so it's a distraction basically. So it's not penetrating into your skin and there's not like nothing's moisturizing. So it's got like petroleum or petrolatum, lanolin. Lanolin can be irritating. It's one of the, potentially allergenic ingredients.
That's funny.
Um,
I thought of that ingredient and it brought me back to breastfeeding because that's what I had, the lanolin from breastfeeding.
exactly.
Yeah.
True. So, you know, it has and a lot of those have flavors or
Mhm.
dyes or fragrances, which can also be irritating to skin.
Right.
So what we use instead, I mean, and it's so easy to do, is our butters. We use shea butter and cocoa butter. So those are really moisturizing and nurturing. We have some oils, some plant oils in there,
Mhm.
which are, again, very moisturizing and soothing. It's got aloe vera, which is very soothing. It's got vitamin E, which is an antioxidant. And then the thing to seal it, right, to
Okay.
protect, to keep moisture from escaping, we use beeswax.
Oh,
And so everything that we're using is natural, and it helps actually like heal the skin
right.
and protect it from like wind or the elements.
That's what I noticed is my son, like he would constantly need chapstick with him and he would always be putting it on. And when he started using this, like it's sitting in the cupboard right now. And I'm like, he hasn't used it in a couple days. I feel like he actually like moisturized his, like it actually worked. And it's not peppermint because then I try and put it on my other son who's like all red. Not the peppermint one. It burns. It hurts. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, I gotta put something on it.
Well,
So
also
it
I mean,
doesn't
if
have
they're
that.
licking their lips, if that's becomes a habit, it's like also what are you ingesting? Ugh, then
hmm
like it's kind of gross to think about what you would be ingesting, like
Right.
you eating a chapstick.
Yeah.
Whereas if you end up kind of like ingesting some of ours, it's all natural. I mean, you wouldn't want to go and make a meal of it, but I can't imagine it would hurt you, right? Um,
Yes.
so I just feel better about them using. The thing is, we have choices. We don't have to use stuff that has petroleum and paraffin and inexpensive distractions. Like
Hmm.
we can use stuff that's good for your skin and
Right. And this is very boy friendly. Like, how cool is that?
oh yeah,
It's
it's
not
there's
like,
no shine.
because
It's not
I got the
greasy.
cherry once and I was like, Mom, that's cherry. It's gonna make my lips all red. I'm like, well, you need something. Yeah, it's very cool looking.
Thank you. They can keep it in their
Did
pockets.
you
They're
do that? Were you very involved in the design of like your logo and
yes. I am the creative director.
all of it? You're all of it.
So, the logo is actually designed by a pretty, if you go to Santa Cruz, this guy's kind of a big deal.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
he's a skateboard graphic designer.
Okay.
His
Looks very
dad is a big
skateboardy.
deal.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and my husband's from Santa Cruz, and we go there every year and visit my in-laws. So it just felt very kind of natural and in line with my brand. And I also grew up in the 80s and 90s and
Hmm.
love the 80s colors but 90s grunge and it appeals to me. So even though
Hmm.
like I'm making this kind of like for guys or it's at least designed with my boys in mind, it's something that I it appeals to my
Yeah.
aesthetic too.
Yeah.
So and I think it appeals to other girls as well. But yeah, so the logo was designed by this very cool guy. And then everything else, I've done all the other packaging stuff. So
Love it. Because you also have sunscreen, right? You have sunscreen?
So I have not developed my own sunscreen.
Okay.
I'm supporting a LA-based brand,
Got it.
Zinca. I grew up with Zinca in the
Zinc.
80s.
I remember that on the
Yes.
nose right here. Yep.
Yes,
Along the
yes, the
beach. Yep.
nose coat.
And
Yes.
that
So,
was the cool stuff. Like I remember it being
oh
very like
gosh.
bright colors. It was cool. Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool. I
Hmm.
would bring a couple colors and somebody else would bring a couple
Yep.
colors and you trade colors and
Yep.
oh yeah. But they have this mineral sunscreen and they have a stick and a lotion version and I use mineral sunscreen on my kids and I mean even though it's that colorful nose coat that you remember
Hmm.
from the 80s, it, it is one of the simplest
That.
and cleanest mineral sunscreens on the market, frankly.
Yeah.
It has so few ingredients and they're all natural. You know, there's so much ju extra junk that gets put into
Right.
sunscreen to make it aesthetically pleasing, not just efficacious. So like you're looking for sunscreen that works, right? You don't want to
Hmm.
get the rays, right? So you don't want the aging rays and the burning rays. So you need something that's going to be able to like protect you when you're out in the sun. But sunscreen can be unpleasant to apply. And so a lot
I know
of
that. Yes.
right. So a lot of brands put a ton of other inactive ingredients in there, like fragrance or silicones, to make it smell better and make it kind of like
Smoother.
apply, go
Okay.
on smoother and easier.
Hmm.
Or silica, it's that like a powder so that it kind of dries more matte.
Oh,
And there's a lot of ingredients in there that are it's noise. It's really just for aesthetic purposes. Um,
does
that
it harm the effectiveness of the
It doesn't harm the effectiveness
okay
of it, but it's not necessarily great for
for
skin,
skin?
especially young skin. So,
Hmm.
like silicones, for instance, they're occlusive, and they can cause, clogged pores in a child who's going through hormonal changes and doesn't want to
Hmm.
get acne. Not great, probably. Like sunscreen itself is kind of thick and goopy.
Hmm.
To add other ingredients in there that can be comedogenic, it's not awesome unless they're a terrific face washer, which most kids aren't.
No.
And there are other just reasons not to use like fragrance and just there's just a lot of junk and noise, whereas like Zinca doesn't have that. So I feel good using it on my kids and people ask me all the time, like what sunscreen they should use. And so I just make it easier for people to grab one when you come to our website.
Oh, I love that. Do you have any other products that you are working on to add?
Oh gosh, we have a whole, I have a pipeline, man. But I am very excited. We were just talking about tariffs.
We were
I
before we
am,
started. Yes.
I know, I am really crossing my fingers to see like what the impact of the tariffs will be on my business.
Mm,
But yeah, I'm looking to launch a shampoo conditioner combo, um, within a couple months. So I'm
love
very excited
that.
about that. I've been working on that for a long time.
Love that. That is the next thing I want to add to our shower because my son came out of the shower and he was like, "Oh, I liked it, Mom." And I'm like, "Did you wash your hair when you were in there?" Because it's like damp, but it doesn't look like he's like scrubbed it. And you know how like boys' hair just smells like boy. Like
Yeah.
you're like, you just smell like boy. And he's like, but I didn't sweat today. I'm like, I know, but you probably did. But you just smell like boy. I'm like, I don't feel like you washed that smell out. So if
Yes.
we can get a shampoo and conditioner in one, oh my gosh,
Well,
we're
so that was kind of my, you know, also frustration about like the men's grooming market because everything is simplified. It's like 2-in-1, 3-in-1, 10-in-1, but they weren't the right combinations. So that's why for Gryme, we've got the body wash, right? That way you can get rid of your kids' toddler body washes or whatever.
Mhm.
And then while their hands are sudsy, just try to make it up to your face, right? It's the same product, just get it head to toe.
Right.
Try to touch all your parts and make it easy. And then when it comes to like the shampoo, you have a separate product for that, but it's a shampoo conditioner in one because a lot of the products on the market are combine the body and the hair. And
Oh.
body washes and shampoos both they're similar. They're not entirely the same
Mm-hmm.
in terms of formulation, but the one thing it's missing is a conditioning element. And hair does need to be conditioned. Once you kind of like open the cuticle and you're cleansing, you do need to close that cuticle back up and put some protection on it and
Mm-hmm.
add back some healthy oils and stuff. So um, what those multi-purpose products on the market, making it easy for men are also not doing what's right for men.
Got it. Got it. Cannot wait till that comes out. What would you say to another mom who has a business idea and wants to get started?
Don't, no, just kidding.
I know. It's a lot.
It's another child. So, I've talked about this before. There are two types of entrepreneurs out there, and maybe there are more, but in my opinion, there's two. There's the one that like has that drive and has always wanted to be doing it. Maybe they even started when they were a kid and like had a paper route. I mean, there's no
Hmm.
paper routes anymore, but
Yep.
you know, if there's something that they've always wanted to work for themselves. There's something about them that doesn't want to work for someone else. They have ideas. They thrive on creating something. I know a mom who is like that, and she has started a couple businesses, and right now she has a skincare business, and it's doing great. I think it's seven figures or like low seven
Wow.
figures, but she's like, I'm going to start a pet line, pet toys. Oh, okay. So, now that the skincare line's doing well, she hired
Mhm.
someone to kind of like run that day to day. And now she's starting
Wow.
she started a clean, sustainable pet toy line. So there's that woman or that person. And then there's the entrepreneur that just had to do it that's solving a problem, right? So there was a
Mhm.
problem, nobody else is solving it. There's no other options on the market, identifies a need, decides to
Do it.
fill that gap, right?
Mhm.
And so that's me. I am the reluctant entrepreneur. Um, and the reason that I finally did it is I just got so frustrated and so angry at the options on the market for kids. And as a marketer, what the brands are doing to mislead parents,
Right.
and, put like sulfate-free, paraben-free,
Mhm.
dermatologist tested on a bottle for kids.
That all
And
got me. I would have been
yeah,
like,
oh,
"Yes,
it
I'll
gets
take
me
it."
too.
Yep,
It gets
that
me
sounds
too.
good.
Until you turn the bottle around, because even someone who worked in the industry for so long, not really sure how to read the labels and kind of call them out on their BS. And then you see like, okay, it doesn't contain parabens, it contains preservatives that are worse.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's natural fragrance, but like, what are the ingredients in this natural fragrance? Are there endocrine disruptors in it? Are there carcinogenics? Are there
Mm-hmm.
allergens? What's in this natural fragrance that you're, letting me put on my child? And I just got kind of like fed up with the marketing and talking to other moms and how they're just constantly duped. That out of anger, I was like, someone has to be able to do better.
Yes.
And then I was also fighting with my kids all the time. I think we joked about this. It took me
Mm-hmm.
like 2 hours to get them to shower.
Yep.
And by the time they got in the water, I was ready for a drink. I was so exhausted. It
Yes.
was like the worst time of night.
Yes.
It's hurting my relationship with them. I don't look forward to the evenings time with them because I'm just constantly trying to corral three kids into a shower and they're
Mm-hmm.
yelling back at me and avoiding
I
me.
don't
And
have to shower. I don't need to. I'm like, yes, you do.
right, and they don't want to. The only
Mm-hmm.
reason they're doing it is because they're being made to. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that they want to do. And so you're forcing them to
Yes.
do something that they don't want to do.
Yes.
And it was so painful. And so I was like, okay, great. I'm gonna do something clean, do something easy, and I'm gonna make it look like something that they like. And that way, they can have some independence and some ownership and feel
Mm-hmm.
like this is mine, this is not yours, and I'm gonna do it myself, and I'm gonna do it my way. And mom, you can take a break. And
Yeah.
so I think it's working for you. It's working in our
Yep.
house. So now, it's there's a few reminders, go take your shower. And then they're off to the races. They know what they're expected to do. They've got the products. They're their products, they're not mine.
Right.
And
That's
then
why I told my older son too. I was like, you watch this one, like make sure, because the other boys were using their like bubble bath stuff. I'm like, that's yours. Don't let them use that. So I think that was it too. Like he gets his
exactly.
own stuff, not
They
what a
want
mom bought.
they want their independence. They want, it's that, oh gosh, it's that push away and then snuggle at night. So,
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
kids, like they yell and scream at me for 3 hours straight. And then at nighttime where I'm
Yes.
literally
I'm
so ready
done.
to say goodnight and go
Cuddle with
like,
me.
yeah. And then it's like, can you cuddle with me for a few? And I'm just like, what?
You didn't want me all day long. What
You
now?
have been terrible. What? And now I have to hug you? Um, so I wanted something that would also just make my relationship with them less contentious. And so those are the reasons, and they were important enough to me to put my money and
Hmm.
my time behind it. Um, and it's a slow build. I mean, it is hobby money at the moment, right? It's not replacing a salary. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's as much as a full-time job, but
Yeah.
right now it's still in build mode. So it is it's a long-term goal.
Love it. Well, I'm
You
so
have to be
proud
willing
of
to
you
stay
for
with it.
doing that. It's
Thank
so
you.
impressive. As
Thank you.
someone who, like, I left my teaching job to start doing this. It's scary. And it's at times where it's like every other day, I'm like, I should just quit and go back to that where it was like dependable but I didn't enjoy it. I
Right.
enjoy doing this. I enjoy that I'm helping people. So I'm very proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. I mean, every moment that goes into like creating the products or
Hmm.
researching the ingredients or designing the labels or whatever. I mean, it is such joy. I get so much joy out of working on this.
I love it.
Um, so I'm really doing it for myself, but I love that my kids can do it with me too.
Yes. And they're looking at like, wow, look what mom started. Look what
Yes.
she's creating.
I
Hmm.
mean, I've been working for years and they're like, Mom, Dad makes more than you. I'm like, ugh, be quiet.
Yeah. Yes.
That
Right.
wasn't always the case. Um, but or
Just wait, kids. Just wait. This is
but
going viral.
but I think it's hard, and I do want them to see mom as mom, taking care of them,
Hmm.
loving them, all that stuff. But I'm also not their servant, and I I did have a life before them, and I do have something to offer. And I think that there is something, this is what made me kind of jump from finance to beauty. And I think the same is happening for the kids. It's something tangible. They can see all the work that we created
Hmm.
when we launch a product and you can hold it in your hand. And it's really cool to see them have pride for me.
Oh, love that. They're going to grow up and they're going to say, my mom was number one, always there for me, and then created this great business. And it's so awesome. I love that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so if we want to find your products,
Yes.
I know we have a discount code for all of the listeners. Can you share where we can find Grime?
Yes, of course. So we've got a website, gryme.co, gryme.co. We're also available on Amazon. And we're looking at expanding other places, but for now, those are your two easiest bets.
Love it. That's so accessible. I got mine off of your website and it was very quick shipping. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. Our shipping manager is wonderful.
Oh, I love that. The code is Burnt Pancakes 20 if you want 20% off. And if you're listening to this the day it comes out, we're going to have a special giveaway on Instagram. So check out my Instagram because some lucky listener is going to get some free stuff.
Yes, and please check out my Instagram because I have
Yes.
no friends and I really would like more.
And you're
My
the social media manager
my
and
social media manager is terrible.
Okay, what's
So
your handle? What's your handle?
Gryme.co.
Okay. We will look you up. I will tag you in all of my stuff. So we'll get
Thank
everyone
you.
everyone
Thank
finding
you.
it. Well, thank you so much. This was so enjoyable chatting with you.
Oh, so fun to talk to you too. I could do this all day.
Special thanks to Sabrina for coming in and chatting and getting my son to shower again. If you want to check out her products, make sure to look at the link below. You can get 20% off all of her Gryme products using the code Burnt Pancakes 20. We've been using it for a while, and I can tell you it is 11-year-old boy approved. All right. Until next week, I want to remind you that everyone burns their first pancake, so just keep flipping.